here along the side of Highway 70 with Jimmy Wayne, your Meet Me Halfway campaign, walking 1,700 miles from Nashville to Phoenix. And Jimmy, let's talk about the purpose behind your walk and why you're walking today.
The project Meet Me Halfway is to raise awareness for homeless teens who are in the custody of the state government, if you will, who age out. They become a certain age, 18 years old. They leave. They have nowhere to go. They have no resources. And a lot of these kids end up homeless. Some end up dead. And you know, in my situation when I was a teenager, I was in this situation. Sorry, I'm in some napkins here. I was in a situation where I lived on the street for a little while and was taken in by a really good family and given a home, given a new start. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for them. And this whole thing was inspired basically from a conversation I had with a young man who was in a facility. He was very excited. He's leaving, and I asked him the question. I said, "Where are you going to go?" And it was almost like going to the next time. And it was so sad because he looked at me, and it was like the first time he answered this question. He said, "I don't know." And I said, "You don't have any family?" He says, "No, my mom and his dad have been murdered." It just moved me. It just touched my heart. I know how you feel. Just being out there, not knowing where you're going to go. I mean, I have the luxury of having 2 cell phones. I can call help at any time. I don't have to be out here. But in those kids' situations, they have nowhere to go. They have to rely on their own survival instinct to figure it out. You know? And it's sad. I kept in contact with the administrative office for this facility. Come to find out, this kid ended up escaping this facility. And he basically did it so when he got caught, he'd have a place to live. And it's a revolving door, and we wonder why. You know, it's a shame that, you know, right here on our in our front yard in America, that these kids are having to live on the street. For what reason? There's no reason. I mean, if they can make a law, if Obama can pass a law that says an airplane can't sit on the tarmac longer than 3 hours, well, he can sure pass a law that says you cannot put a kid out there without any resources whatsoever. And this campaign is called Meet Me Halfway because we're trying to get people to meet us halfway. Meet me halfway. Get involved. Spread the word. Not necessarily talking about donating your hard-earned money. If you want to, that's great. That's what we're trying to do that also. But generating awareness, the word, and also to the young adults out there who's in this situation who may hear this, you got to meet us halfway. Because I had to meet the family that took me in halfway. You know, the rules were you cut your hair, go to church. If you don't, leave now. I ended up staying there 6 years, and you know, it goes both ways. Yeah. So that's the name of the campaign, Meet Me Halfway, and I just hope that everybody will start spreading the word about it. You know, the more people we get involved, if we get 500,000 people involved, we can get 500,000 people to donate $1 to Monroe Harding over in Nashville.
I think that's a great start. We're here with Jimmy Wayne today. We're about 100 miles outside of Nashville. You may hear the cars going by behind us. We're on Highway 70. Now, Jimmy Wayne has been walking from Nashville. You're on the beginning of a very long journey ahead of you, walking all the way to Phoenix, raising awareness for these kids who are aging out of the system. And let's talk about the physical demands on your body. I don't think people understand when we say you're walking from Nashville to Phoenix. You're out here in this frigid weather, day in, day out. Let's talk about what you're going through, first of all, physically.
Well, my bag is about 15 pounds. I haven't weighed it, but you know, everybody that's picked it up is like, man, that thing's got to be 50 to 60 pounds. It's pretty heavy. You know, you're just walking, and you can only imagine walking with a bag like this in the cold weather on the side of the road where cars are passing you, the wind off of these 18-wheelers and stuff just blowing on you. It's very cold out here, but thanks to Marmot, unlike some of those kids out there who end up homeless, I have a sponsorship from a clothing company that design clothes that are made for this kind of weather.
Okay.
You hike Mount Everest and stuff. So I'm not freezing like they would be. And again, I'm simulating what they may be going through. But the only difference is I have options. They don't.
Now, you're here about 100 miles outside of town. This is Camden, Tennessee, to be today. And this is day 6. When everybody gets to hear this, it's going to be day 7 of your walk. Let's talk about what you're going through emotionally, Jimmy.
You know, believe it or not, this has been a really good experience so far because, you know, going out of the city, it was pretty lonely because I was going up 70 into it looked like I was going into the woods. And but I come out into these small towns, and I'm not surprised. I'm just reminded of how gracious and how wonderful the small towns is. These people have come out. I mean, just less than 300 yards from here, there was a guy in camouflage outfit, big guy, who we would probably consider, you know, Bubba. He pulled over and he gave me his card and he said, "Do you need any money? Can I help you any way possible?" And I said, "Man, I'm grateful. Thank you for your help. It's been that way since I left Nashville and got into the small towns." I mean, people have stopped by and given me cups of coffee, cups of hot chocolate. An old man stood at the end of the bridge over the Tennessee River yesterday holding a thermos full of hot coffee that his wife had just brewed and sent him out the door. "Go find Jimmy and give him some hot coffee." And he did it, man. He's standing in there and he's holding his donuts and he's holding his coffee. And the restaurants, every restaurant that I visit so far, and I'm not going in there trying to get a free meal, but they won't let me pay. Or some, one of the customers would insist that I let them pay for my meal, and they said that's the least we can do is at least pay for your biscuits and gravy. You know, and I'm not asking for handouts. I can take care of myself. I'm just asking for people to just be aware. You know, find one kid that needs help. If we can change one kid's life and do what that family did for me when I was 16, I can't tell you how important that is, because who would have never known the guy that was riding around Vesper City, North Carolina, looking for odd jobs, riding on a bicycle, carrying his clothes on his back with no address, would end up being in the position that I'm in today, to be able to walk out on stage and open up an entire summer's worth of tours for Brad Paisley. No one would ever predict that. And not only that, it's just even if they don't go in that direction, whatever, just simply just changing their life. It's not their fault. You need to take care of them. Just worth the walk. I'll walk it again if I know that it's going to help another kid. I'll do it in a heartbeat. It's just, you know, I can't stress it enough. The churches, please get involved. You know, it's not a favor. It's something that we're supposed to do. If you really believe that, read the book of James. That's what it says. Help kids.
It's Jimmy Wayne here. It's day 6 of his walk. By the time you hear this, it will be day 7. We're right outside of Camden, Tennessee, about 100 miles outside of Nashville. He's walking from Nashville to Phoenix. And you're in Middle Tennessee right now. You're basically in your own backyard. People love you and respect you, and they love you all over the United States, but I'm just fearful when you cross that Mississippi River and you go into, you're not so close to home. I mean, what are your concerns looking forward, just from a personal standpoint, and being out there alone, walking along the side of the road?
Well, again, unlike the kids who are going through that, when they are strictly alone, no one knows them. Thanks to you guys, the coverage has generated so much awareness where, you know, people go by and blow their horns, and you know, being in the position that I'm in, to be able to have some music out there, and you know, and people, you know, some people know who I am, and when the word gets out there, they're aware that you're coming to their city. And even Justin Moore texted me this morning. He said, "You're going through Arkansas, so make sure you let me know when you get there, because maybe the family can bring you some coffee out there or something." So I've got friends. Dirk Bentley, he's texting me every day. You know, "Hey man, you don't need to stay outside tonight. Get a hotel room."
Right.
You know, just.
I heard he made a donation too.
He did make a donation. He stepped up, and I had to. It was like pulling teeth trying to get him to, because he's just so humble.
Yeah.
He don't want to tell you that he's making a donation.
Right.
And he just, you know, he just said, you know, take care of yourself, etc. And
right.
He's just such a good guy. And he and Justin both reached out to me. John Conley gave me a little coin. I keep this. John Conley says, "Keep this coin in your pocket the whole trip," and it's a cross, and on the other side of it, it's got a little message there.
With God, all things are possible.
Yep, and John gave me that because I'm a huge John Conley fan.
Love it.
And sure enough, he showed up for the launch of this campaign and handed me this coin, and it's still in my pocket, John. So I hope not to lose it. But yeah, I feel like from here, Phoenix, I think I'm going to be okay. And you know what? Something pops up, it's just part of it, you know. And people can follow me on twitter.com/Jimmy Wayne. They can see the pictures and they can follow me. GPS is on there, and you know, you can see exactly where I'm at. And you know, it's not going to be a cushion of a trip. I understand that, and I understand that there's a lot of danger out there, and especially when you reach certain parts of the city. You know, from here to Phoenix, I don't know what what's going to happen, but you know, I'm not going to be scared and stop, and I'm going to keep going.
Well, we are going to continue to remind people that you are out here walking to Phoenix, and I just want to let you know personally from me that you're in my prayers every night, thinking about you. There's a lot of people, we're reminding them to think about you, and hopefully they'll be making donations and making a difference, because you're out here risking your life basically and making a huge statement by doing this. Let's talk about finally your route, because I've been all over the web. It seems like I saw the route one time, but then I Googled it and I'm not getting the route that you're taking.
Well, I'm heading to Little Rock, Arkansas, and when I get there, I'll look at the map, but from what I can see, I've got a map. But I know that I'm taking 70 to Little Rock. When I get there, I'm going to go through Oklahoma, Texas, Albuquerque into Phoenix. So it's pretty much a straight route, and I'll make sure that everybody knows exactly where I'm at. And again, you can go on the Twitter thing and see the GPS, and there's tons of support. My management company, you know, when it drops down into the single digits, they were telling me, you have got to get a room. We're not going to tolerate you sleeping outside tonight. I slept outside the other night, and I woke up with ice on my sleeping bag, so when they heard that, I made a mistake for telling them.
We read about that on Twitter. I'm like, oh my goodness. Now, there's a question on our way over here. Mallory rode with me today, and we've been talking about you the whole way, and how